Hey guys, I hope you liked the intro. This is the G-91 from Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're here at Swansea Airfield and we have an exciting mission. We are going to drop some bombs at Pembrey range. So we're taking off from Swansea, Echo Golf Fox Hotel on the east. We're going to head south feet wet, west to Worm's Head, and then north inbound the target area. The target area itself is Pembrey range. This is satellite imagery. Pembrey Airfield is to the lower right and the target area is actually on the western edge near the coast. In detail, you can zoom in, you can see the strafe panels. There are 3 in the larger tan patch, and the target area, target circle north and target circle south. What you'll also need for this mission, you can download in the link below, is this PHI file. This is a navigation file. This helps you use kind of the INS equivalent system in this aircraft, and the waypoints are as you see it. But in the target area, we've got circle north, strafe panel, and circle south. Here's the cockpit of the G-91, and it looks bloody brilliant. SimSkunkWorks did an excellent job. It's one of the most realistic cockpits I've seen in the simulator, and it's just a great place to be. Also, remember, from the outside, you'll need to set up your external stores, so you can find this app at the link you can see. Pick what you want in the tab, reset, and apply now, and you can load whatever you want. So we have £500 SE. This is also the app you need to navigate to and install your PHI navigation file. You'll also need to assign some keys. For bomb release, it's toggle water rudder, for drag chute deploy, and then cut, it's toggle flight director. And what that tanker driver thinks he's doing, I have no idea. Anyway, let's dive into this aircraft and start it up. It is not as complicated as I first thought. So here we go, battery switch on, generator switch on, inverters 1 and 2 on, and the servo I put on now because why not? On the left hand panel, you want to lower the cover of the fuel cutoff, switch on the boost pump, switch on the jet pipe temperature limiter, quick check of full and free for the throttle, switch the HE ignition on, lift the start cover, and press the big red button. Everyone loves a big red button. That's it, she starts up pretty darn quick. I think the throttle automatically goes to the idle stop, but I put it forwards and back just to make sure. That's it, she's done. You can switch on everything else as you need to. And here we go, quick introduction to the PHI panel. So that's it on the right hand side. There are 5 buttons for 5 waypoints, number 1 being Swansea. And on the HSI, to get it to the PHI mode, just click the top left and you'll notice that the range goes to 0. To double check its PHI, you can see the range is now 10 for waypoint 2, which makes sense. Back to 1 and the range is 0. So the PHI mode is now correctly set up for us. If you start this aircraft from engines running, you'll notice the canopy's closed, but it's not locked, so make sure you click that black handle to lock it. And the gun sight, I need to turn the brightness up to see it, but remember it's not collimated, it's just pretty much there for show. A last look around to make sure everything's switched on, and we'll taxi out to runway 22, departing to the southwest. And then get on our way to the range. So this Tiger livery looks brilliant. I'm a fan of Tiger liveries, and that comes as part of the installation of this aircraft. So we'll enter the runway, we'll backtrack, line up and wait. In fact, we won't wait very long, we'll just go. This runway's pretty short, to be honest. It's probably a bit too short for this aircraft. And you'll notice the bombs aren't on there, and I think that's because I played with the weight and balance, and it might have reset it. But we'll put them back on in a second. So for the takeoff, 95 knots is rotate, and with stalls, 135 knots for getting airborne. Just thinking about getting airborne. There we go. Gear and flap up. It's quite a handful to fly, which I like it for that fact, because why would you want a generic flying aeroplane? Okay, here we are cruising out. Let's change the waypoint to Worm's Head, so that's waypoint 2. Check of the needle looks sensible, check of the map, and Worm's Head is actually the furthest west-southwest point on the map. I just drew the first turn point as reference. So as we cruise into Worm's Head, which is just right of the nose, we'll select the bomb selector switch, we'll open the cover and it automatically goes to all, which means when you press the bomb release, all the weapons will go. Now I can see Worm's Head. We'll then change to steer point 3, which is the target circle north. And I can see out the window Worm's Head into the target area, and I compare it to the map. So we're all good to go. Another view from outside, because why the heck not? And I haven't planned this target run. I'm literally just going to fly it at 420 knots, and I'll get there when I get there. But ordinarily, you can hack your stopwatch now and fly it properly like a proper low-level target run. That sun's annoying, but look at this. You can click the mirror and it goes away. Love it. I've added some wind because I like seeing texture of the waves on the water, and we're cruising in at 200 to 300 feet, which is actually one of the profiles. This is the first run attack, which means we're going to drop on the target area on our first pass. And this is going to be a low-level laydown. Now these bombs are not retard bombs, so if we were dropping them, we'd probably blow ourselves up. But it's a simulator and it's fun. So I'm looking for the target area. I've got nothing to aim with, so I'm guessing. And bombs away. I added the sound effect, by the way. You don't actually get to hear that, but I thought it might be fun. There we go. Bombs are released. We're going to go into a right-hand strafe pattern, just because it's quicker. And this is going to be an 8 to 10 degree strafe profile onto the center target. So I'll bring the nose of the aircraft round about 300 knots. I'll wait until it looks like it's about 10 degrees down, and then I'll over-rotate. And if I make reference to the reticle or the pipper, that's the circle target crosshairs in front. So I should bring the pipper up a bit sooner than I do, but I get there and I couldn't make the sound effect with my mouth, so I added that machine gun sound. Apologies for that. Cool. And then we're off target. Each target maneuver has a aircraft self-damage maneuver to make sure that you A, don't hit the ground, and B, don't get caught by any ricochets. And I'll talk through that probably on the last pass that we do. So now we're in a left-hand range pattern. We're going, that's Pembrey airfield just by the nose. And this is like a downwind leg. Pembrey airfield, and Kidwelly is the town behind it. So I'll take a left onto a base leg in the range. We'll keep around about 2,500 to 3,000 feet, around about 300 knots. And admire the sun and the shadows on the cockpit. We've done such a great job with this aeroplane. Cool. So the strafe panels actually have lines leading into them. If you look in detail, that's how you line up for your attack. So again, dragging the nose around the horizon, over rotating, and we'll do this one from outside the cockpit. So in hot with my heading. And some really terrible sound effects, and we're off. So the next run is actually going to be a dive bomb attack. So you'll notice I put the bombs back on. I'm going to make this pretty quick by just doing a 180 and aiming for about a 20-degree dive angle. So here we go. I can see the target area under the nose. I'll wait until it disappears out of sight, and then I'll bunt the aircraft down to roughly about 20 degrees. I've got nothing to aim with, but I use the reticule anyway, because why not? And the rest of it is just guessing. Bombs away. If I was higher up, you can actually see the bombs fall away. And there we go. Not bad, to be honest. That's pretty darn close for guesswork. Anyway, here we go. We're cruising out over Pembrey airfield again. This is the last pass. This will be a strafe before we depart back to Swansea. So on this pass, I'll talk through the off-target manoeuvre in detail. And it's not the actual one for this aircraft, nor is it one for any aircraft in particular, but it's one that I think kind of works. Okay, here we go. Stable, right-hand panel. Cool, release the trigger. Pitch 4 Gs to 20 degrees nose up. At 1,000 feet, I'll roll to the left. Through 2,000 feet, I'll bring the throttle back over bank and achieve 2,500 to 3,000 feet, ready for my next profile. Now, I keep climbing here because we're departing. We're going back to Swansea. But you get the idea, and then you get into the swing of it as you keep going around. So I've made the switches safe, so the bombs are now safe. I talked to the range controller. Switch is safe, departing 3,000 to 4,000 feet, direct Swansea. And off we go. I admire the view. You'll notice the smoke is still there, and that lingers, unfortunately. I think it might be a limitation with the sim. It's the same with the H145 video that I did with the rockets. Fortunately, they stay there forever. Okay, so I saw Swansea just off to the left. You can see the PHI pointer in that direction, but I figured whilst we're here, we may as well go into low level. And actually, a lot of aircraft, a lot of military ones, when they enter low level from the south, they'll pass Swansea in this fashion and head south to north before going through Wales low level. So it'd be rude not to. And just look at the shadows on the cockpit. So I'm going for about 420 knots, maybe a little bit fast for this airplane. It likes to shake around a bit. But cruising. I do like this airplane. Alright, the plan after this is to pull up and we'll do a straight-in approach to Swansea runway 22. And that will do. Of course, you've got to put in a little bit of victory roll. So here we go. Let's position for this straight in. Now I had to splice together a couple of approaches because I was pretty heavy to start with and it didn't go very well. And the second time I did it, I landed well, but the drag chute didn't come out. So I've spliced them together. So you're looking at about 140 knots plus 1 knot per 100 pounds of fuel left. And I just about scrape it in over the numbers. So this was actually fairly decent on speed, but then instead of the drag chute opening, it kind of disappears. So here's one with the drag chute open. Unfortunately, I landed hot on this, and I think the throttle powered up for some reason. So if you've got this aircraft and you land with the drag chute, just listen to the engine and see if it spools up a little bit when you do put the drag chute out. But I stop with about 10 meters to spare. That is it. Press the drag chute key again and it will cut it. And then we will taxi back. I'll switch off some stuff in the cockpit and we'll taxi back. Have some humour with the marshaller. I don't know what she's thinking, but stick with me for that if you wish. And if you're still here, please consider subscribing, chuck in a like, and if you've got any questions or comments, please throw those down there as well. But until the next time, I hope you'll join me for the next video. Take care. So here we go, marshalling, closer, 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 keep coming, keep coming. No, I give up there. But she's insistent, very insistent. Not happening.